Okay. So, mostly from what I've hearing from like Twitter and YouTube and Instagram, mostly with social media, is that mostly with Star Wars films with the anthologies, the most people are a bit like tired of Disney just um, making prequels that are not from the Clone Wars and only like anthology movies that are like they're still prequels but they're in the like original trilogy type of like way, and mostly like from like anthology films for um for like the Clone Wars. I think they would do a really good job on doing that, because I have an idea for like a Clone Wars anthology film, and this comes from reading like the old Clone Wars stories that Dave Filoni and Pablo Hidalgo were trying to make before Disney bought Star Wars and the Clone Wars TV show got canceled. But because the Clone Wars was supposed to run for about 8 seasons, and the final like the series finale was supposed to be like Ahsoka on Mandalore because of Maul going there, and mostly from this idea I had for like a Clone Wars film. I took the inspiration of this movie, Star Wars Clone Wars Volume 2, and um I had other ones. I had Volume 2 and Volume 1, but I was thinking mostly Volume 2 because Volume 1 took place after Attack of the Clones, while Volume 2 takes place right before Revenge of the Sith. And just like with Rogue One, where it takes place right before A New Hope, I was thinking for a film, like for a Clone War.
Man tries to kill my around the Middle East. The Russians and the Chinese are getting real cozy. Huh. Now, the politicians, they want you to think this is about ideology. It's a lot of horse shit. Give me your phone. Go ahead. Rare earth elements. Whole fucking world runs on this shit. Who controls all of it? China. So while corporate America is kissing China's ass.
Now the mysterious Cortis social network has crowdsourced simultaneous protests in both Iran and North Korea. Never seen in public, who really is the leader of Cortis Dia? He's known only as Odysseus.
Odysseus? My ass. Raul fucking Menendez. Asshole. They told Jason, but they were too busy. See, the drone race has started. I mean, really, guys? You're gonna build an entire military base on a mineral element that's wholly controlled by China? Hey, to drink. Dipshit. No. Give me a soda. Get it from the nurse's stash. None of that diet crap.
China's New York Times is outraged by Cortis Dia's leaked memo, alleging the cyber attack was covertly ordered by the White House.
And through all the dirty shit the U.S. government's gotten away with, this time, they're innocent, and no one fucking believes them. They take out Cortis Dia's network 2 days later. The director of the FBI burned alive. Right now, 1 billion people believe that Raul Menendez is their savior. Guess what, boys? He's not. You better take him out pretty fucking quick. That shit's gonna happen.
Anyway, oh shit. Hold on.
Menendez got a whole private fucking army hidden out there.
Cubans. Elite rank. State-of-the-art tech.
How many followers does Cortis Dia have right now? What, 1 billion people?
Try 2 billion. You'll never believe their leader's a terrorist. I think Menendez is their savior.
They've got a hell of a disappointment coming. That's all I can say.
Time to go see what Menendez has got hidden down there.
But mostly with I was thinking with like a Star Wars prequel was right before Revenge of the Sith,
So far, so
where
good.
where basically it would show like it would be I think it would begin like I'm taking inspiration of the Clone Wars Volume 2 DVD, and I was thinking like of a like where Grievous has been attacking mostly main targets for the Republic, and that the Jedi are like having like a meeting about this without Anakin involved. And what just like with the DVD, I would say that like Obi-Wan had an idea for the Jedi to be knighting Anakin.
Thanks to you.
And then mostly what I was thinking, it's a possibility for it to be animated, but it would be nice if it was live action. But yeah, and
Sure did. What does Cordes Dia mean exactly?
Flat. Hard. Some shit like that.
Sounds like something noble. That's what
And then,
Menendez wants his followers to believe.
after that there would be like a scene with Anakin and Padme, and then after that Obi-Wan would contact Anakin about him going to the council. Then they would have kind of like an argument about Qui-Gon. Then after that he would be knighted. And after like the whole argument, Anakin becomes knighted and promoted into Jedi Knight. And after that,
Easy does it. Right, man.
Kenobi and Anakin were sent to Mandalore by Ahsoka. Now here's the thing that I changed. Back in oh crap. But back in with the DVD, Obi-Wan and Skywalker were contacted by Palpatine to go to this like isolated like planet. But this time the message wasn't received by Palpatine, it was received by Ahsoka with a distress signal about Maul returning to Mandalore. And Bo-Katan and Ahsoka have been teaming up to go and fight Maul and the rogue Mandalorians that betrayed Death Watch. Then after that, there would be a whole war on Mandalore. And here's the thing that I was thinking of. Right when Obi-Wan and Anakin are set to Mandalore to help Ahsoka and Bo-Katan of Mandalore,
Be ready to move on my kill.
a big strike happens on Coruscant. The whole big strike would be led by Grievous. Would be Grievous and Dooku. Dooku would be probably they would probably have a plan of going on two checkpoints to confuse the Jedi of what their primary objective is. Dooku would be going to be onto the Senate buildings, and Grievous would go to the Jedi Temple for them to confuse. Actually they won't be in there, but they would be expected to be there. But mainly Dooku is holding off the Republic army of the clones, while Grievous will use his strength to kidnap Palpatine. And there would be like a whole scene a whole scene of like clones, and let's see. Then after that, when some Jedi Knights, like I was thinking, since she's still alive, Shakti, Kiadi-Mundi, I think Shakti, Kiadi-Mundi, Kit, no, not Kit Fisto. What are some other Jedi that haven't died yet? Let's just say just Shakti, Kiadi-Mundi, and 2 other like random Jedi that weren't like that were introduced before. But they figured out that Grievous will be kidnapping the Chancellor, and while that happens, there would be an epic chase of Grievous, his Magna Guards, versus the Jedi. And then, let's see. Let's see. They would have like an epic. They would have like a whole like chase going on. While like civilians are like evacuating, they would be like moving everywhere where they're at. Like they would be on like train stations, on like civilian vehicles.
There's gotta be more to this facility underground.
Kraken, this is section. Surface installation is neutralized. Moving to investigate secondary structure.
And then after like that whole chase, Shakti distracted Grievous into like a trap, and like him being like stuck into a train, and presumed that he's dead, but he's not, because the train would explode. And let's see. Then after that, they would go to the bunker that Palpatine is supposed to go to, but surprisingly Grievous is still in there, while the 4 Jedi are still against him, are like fighting him, while Palpatine was just sitting there staring at the Jedi to be killed.
Update Briggs. Tell him we're moving in.
And then Grievous and Palpatine will have like their like little moment, and then Shakti would be stalled by Magna Guards, and after that, when Shakti defeats them all, she'll go to the bunker and find Grievous holding Palpatine. Then after that, Grievous would just beat the living crap out of her. Not to death, but the living crap out of her. And what you call it?
Enemy's optic systems. We need to get our techs working on analysis.
Maybe you should shoot up.
Then after that, Grievous would think that Shakti is dead, but she's just very badly injured. Then after that, Yoda will go to the bunker where Palpatine was supposed to be, and sees the Jedi dead, just like with Yoda's vision before back in the Clone Wars. But besides the Jedi Temple, it's that bunker, and besides Ahsoka, she sees Shakti being very injured. And then after that, Kenobi and Skywalker back in Mandalore would have a plan for a planetary bombardment onto where Maul is at, but then got interrupted because Yoda and Mace Windu came in, had a general distress signal to them, and then for calling them for help on Coruscant because Palpatine got kidnapped. Then after that, he's with Anakin has his like little moment with Ahsoka, but then he's like, I won't leave you alone. I won't like leave you empty-handed. So he comes in right when he says that, there's this whole door right behind him, and when he opens that door, clone troopers are in there, but not just ordinary clone troopers, her squad, her clone legion, which is the 332nd, and the clone legion has been made by half of the 501st and is led by Captain Rex. So because that would even fit in more, because in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin's commanding officer was Captain I think it was Captain or Commander, but Captain Apo and not Rex. And then the whole 501st, that half of the 501st, they won't have the blue markings anymore. They're orange, and they'll have Ahsoka's like markings that she has on her face. And then Ahsoka and Rex would have like their like little moment together, and then Obi-Wan and Anakin would just drift off, headed to Coruscant. And then that would end the film for it leading up to Revenge of the Sith. So yeah, that's what I was thinking about the Clone Wars. So
Components, armor. Menendez is arming himself for war.
Woods told us how much wealth Menendez built over the years. He's been investing it in weapons tech.
Somebody's here.
so yeah, that's what I was thinking. So yeah, it's Gamer G, guys. Later.